What's good, YouTube? JC here, back with another video. As you can tell, I changed up the scenery a little bit. Just want to keep things different, keep things fresh. So before we get into the video, as usual, I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you guys, and please do not forget to like, comment, subscribe. So this video was something that I had already planned on doing before I started a page. I know this is something I want to knock out because it's a question I get a lot, but I actually got a request in the comments 2 videos ago to do this, so I thought that today would be a good day to knock it out. I'm a little pressed for time, so as yesterday's video went, it's probably just going to keep rolling, minimal cuts, minimal edits, and we're just going to roll through the list of things I have right here to kind of just give you guys tips that you guys need without taking a whole lot of your time. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So as you guys can tell by the title of this video, it is how you can afford shoes, or like afford to fund your shoe cravings, your shoe addiction, your sneakerhead, whatever you want to call it. So I'm gonna list off some things, starting off with things that are easily access to everybody. That meaning that no matter what age you are, you can do this, and this will help you. And then towards the end, I'm gonna do some things that are like only available to people that are 18 and up, and things of that sort, like jobs, like credit, stuff like that. So the first thing I want to talk about that I do to fund my sneaker cravings or whatever, my purchases, are Ebates or like online surveys. As many people will tell you, I'm big about my money. I'm kind of cheap. I save money all the time. I always have, find a way to make a buck. From when I was a little kid, coloring elite socks and going to school and getting kids elite socks and charging people $2 to color the elite socks, to now that I'm always on things like I just mentioned, eBay, stuff like that, always trying to make a buck. So Ebates are basically online or electronic rebates that you get for purchasing through certain websites. So if you're gonna purchase online, you go to Ebates, you see if they have that store on Ebates, and you can basically get cash back for making purchases. So this is good if you're already gonna make a purchase. You go through Ebates, see if they have it, and usually they do have it. Stuff like Nike or wherever you shop online, and they'll give you cash back based on your purchase for making a purchase through Ebates. So this is not really a discount for when you do purchase, but after a while it'll add up. So let's say you make a $100 purchase through Nike and it's a $30 eBay or 30% eBay. You'll get $30 cash back just for doing nothing, just for purchasing through Ebates. So this is some money that you can help if you're already spending money. It'll just help you get cash back that you can put away and save towards sneakers. And also online surveys, and there's other things too, but online surveys are a good way that if you have some free time, you just go on, literally Google online surveys, and it'll be a list of stuff to pop up. I mean, it's not going to make you a ton of money, but $5 to $10 an hour, stuff like that. You can start setting money aside to when you do get enough, you can afford to purchase some shoes and have a little extra spending money. And this goes along too. It's not just for shoes. It's for whatever you feel like spending extra money on. Just ways to afford the things that you want to do. Okay, so that's another thing that's available to everyone. Another thing is selling and reselling sneakers. This is what kind of got me going. At first I started reselling sneakers because I wanted some money, and then I kind of fell in love with having the shoes and the feeling of getting the shoes, and not kind of camping out, because that's not really a thing, but waking up early and kind of scheming and planning all the releases. I just thought it was a really neat hobby, a really cool hobby, to where I can purchase sneakers and have a lot of shoes in my collection, all while not really having to spend too much, because when I sell a shoe, that usually pays for the shoe that I purchase. So it's a cool way, because I had always told people I've been spending more money than I have in my entire life the last year, but yeah, I have more money than I ever had in the last year, and that's just because these little things have helped me kind of fuel the fire. So selling sneakers, and I'll get into a video on how to sell sneakers, but basically you buy a shoe on release day that's released, They sell out, and you can sell it for more than you purchased for it because there's a high demand for it. So things like Yeezys, OVO Jordans, some limited Ultra Boost, stuff like that, you'll pay retail for $180, $200, whatever the case may be, and then you're able to flip it for almost double. And then whatever site you sell it on takes usually that percentage, and everything else is profit. And usually that extra money is able to pay for other things like shoes and stuff like that. But I'll get into that more in depth in a different video. Another thing is just having patience. Patience is a virtue. I know it's tough sometimes to be patient, but there are deals out there to be made. I mean, you see it every day. I got the Space Jams for probably half as much as I would have gotten if I would have just bought them when I first wanted them. So just things like that. You got to be patient. There are deals to be made. People are willing to negotiate. If there's a sneaker you like and you can't afford it right now, you don't need it right now. You can wait. It's going to be there in 6 months. It's going to be there in a week. You know, however long you need to save up the money, it's going to be there. So just being patient, always looking for deals, and always trying to just doing your research, knowing what prices they're going for out there, how much you can get it for. Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? Just knowing the market is a big thing, and saving money and being able to afford sneakers. And also going to things like Plato's Closet, going to things like Marshall's, Ross, and other thrift stores, stuff like that. You never know what you're going to find. And I'm going to start, as I get back to Colorado, when I start doing my daily vlogs, I'm going to start doing, you know, hunting for limited sneakers in thrift stores and secondary stores like that, because you never know what you can find. People, one man's trash is another man's treasure, as I could put it in that case. So you never know what you're going to find in those things. I know Marshalls and Ross always carry like things like LeBron's, KD's, stuff like that, Kobe. So if you're into that kind of stuff, those are really good stores to kind of go in and get shoes for cheap. Another thing along with being patient and finding shoes for good deals is saving. This is a very expensive hobby. It can get very expensive. It can get a little overwhelming, especially when you're buying multiple sneakers a day or a week or whatever the case may be. So saving your money, setting aside money that's for bills and other things, and setting aside money that's for shoes. So in my case, I know every time I get my check for football, that immediately goes to my savings and my rent and other bills like that. I don't touch it for anything else. I don't touch my savings money. That is strictly for bills and other things. And then I know everything extra that I make is spending money. So whether it be from a job, whether it be from selling shoes, whatever the case may be, everything I make outside of football is strictly spending money. And sometimes I'll throw into the savings, stuff like that, because I don't want to spend every single thing. As soon as I get money, I don't want to spend every single thing that I make. But that's another big, is just save, 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 and eventually it'll add up, and before you know it, you'll be able to, you know, afford to buy a, you know, a good price shoe. So as we get into the further down the list, these are things that are more for people that are older in age, like jobs. Getting a job is a good way to afford sneakers. You know, having that extra money, having that steady income is a good way. And never should shoes be ahead of anything else. Never should you have to decide whether you're paying rent or buying shoes or anything. But having a job, having that steady income is a good way to, you know, be able to set aside some money as you go and afford to purchase shoes. Also, a thing that I do a lot, especially during the summer when I have a lot more free time, is Craigslist Gigs. So I'll just go on Craigslist, you know, every morning or so and see if there's someone in need of some moving help, stuff like that. You know, just quick little jobs that I can do 2, 3, 4 hours and make, you know, 15, 20 bucks an hour, and just kind of knock it out. And then, you know, next thing you know, I made $100 in one morning where I would have been sleeping or something like that. And then also just asking around. I know I have a friend that had a connection with a landscaping business in Colorado. So in the winter, there was one night where he asked me if I want to work, and I was like, sure, yeah, I'll work. And we basically shoveled snow for a few hours in the night when it was snowing, and just like that, $90 that I was able to just kind of put away. So always just kind of looking for odd jobs or a regular job, getting a job, and just always putting that extra money away. And the last thing is credit. I know Sneaker Life has talked about this, and this is something I've used in the past ever since I turned 18. I got a credit card, and I use that just for kind of shoes and stuff like that, just because it's something where it's a win-win. I can buy shoes and it gives me time to pay it off, as well as it builds my credit. So I'm not advising you to get a credit card, especially if you don't have a job, stuff like that. But it is, if you have the money, if you have the steady income, it's a good way to build your credit, as well as being able to have a month or whatever the case may be to pay off that one shoe or whatever. I know I also have PayPal credit, and it's basically, once you turn 18, you're basically already going to be qualified for it, just because it's not that hard to get. But on every purchase over $100, you get 6 months to pay off with 0 interest. So I could spend $1,000 today and not have to pay it off a single cent over $1,000 for the next 6 months. So that's something I have been using a lot, especially through eBay, because eBay and PayPal are kind of hand in hand. So I'll go through PayPal credit, I'll buy shoes there, have that $1,000 outstanding balance, and then when I sell the shoes that I paid for $1,000 for and I make $2,000 off, I pay off my $1,000 bill, and then I have $1,000 extra in the bank. So those are things that can help, but also you need to be 18, stuff like that. So it's for the older crowd, I guess you could say. But credit is a good way to have time to pay it off, as well as building your score and helping towards your score, and which will lead to other things. And the last thing I have, man, is just finding what you're good at, whether it be washing cars or helping out in the yard, whatever the case may be. If you're good at making things, stuff like that, if you're creative, finding what you're good at, and there's a market for near anything. People will pay you to do a lot of stuff. There's always money to be made. There's always jobs out there. Just finding what you're good at, being patient, saving your money, and I promise you the shoes will come. Whatever extra spending money that you want to spend money on, it will come. So yeah, that's it for the most part. I know a lot of you might have some individual questions, and I'll be more than happy to answer those if you just comment down below. There's a million ways to make money. There's a million ways to buy sneakers. There's a million ways to afford things, and that's something that I've kind of narrowed down a lot. And I know I'm still young. I know I don't really know everything, but that's one thing that I've always been kind of good at, is always having and saving, and figuring out what's worth it, what's not worth it. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know down below. I'll be more than happy to answer them. So I'll probably break these down as my channel goes on. I'll probably break these each kind of task individually, and kind of explain in further detail. But I just kind of wanted to throw out there the main ways that I afford my sneaker collection, just down the list, all the way down. I appreciate you guys for watching. Please do not forget to like, comment, subscribe. You guys know the deal. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another video. Thank you guys.